Hey everybody, we had a chance to catch up with Brandon Brown, who's the sales manager at the Chevrolet Cadillac store for Coastal Automotive. And first off, you're a 40 under 40, which is really cool to see for 2023. I know barely. So first off, how cool is it that you got honored for that? Because that's a big deal.
Yeah, it was cool. It was, it's humbling, but like I wrote a text to our team yesterday. They were all congratulating me, and I was like, man, it's cool, but none of it's possible without a team. You can do good things on your own, but you can do great things with other people. So
Yeah, and that's a good point, is that you're not just representing yourself, but you're representing your store, you're representing the group, you're representing your family. Yeah. And the group that you're at, it was actually your grandfather's store. So when did he start that? When did you get involved, and why did you get involved?
He actually started at March 13th, 1980.
Okay.
So I always remember that day. And I got in it 12 years ago, and I started in sales. I was terrible. I was really bad. And I was just like everybody else, really. Like, I don't think there was anybody that was great, but I went to one little training. It was actually here in Las Vegas, to Tom Stuker's training, and it really just opened my eyes. And then I came back. I was doing like 8 cars a month. Then I went to doing like 12 or 13, and the people I used to hang out with were kind of like, "Hey, what are you doing? You're supposed to be over here complaining with us, not getting better." And then I went to Grant Cardone's training, and it really just catapulted me. Sure. I went to that, and it started doing, low to mid 20s a month.
No kidding. So, walk me through that. You started in sales, you didn't really like it, and then eventually you fell in love with it to the point where now you're here 12 years later as a sales manager, being involved in the day-to-day operations of that. Yeah. So, what made you fall in love with it?
So, I believe that anything that you're bad at, you don't like doing. Anything you're good at, you like doing. Yeah. So I was so bad at it that I was like, I cannot leave this until I get good at it. Well, then when I got good at it, what do you know? It became fun. Yeah. And then I realized it wasn't just it was more about helping people get a car. And then at the end of every transaction, you see people smile and they drive away. I'm like, man, that's the feeling I'm chasing all the time. Yeah. And you just happen to get paid good to do it.
Yeah. But I think you're right, is that when you realize that it's really people at the center of every single transaction, whether it's sales, whether it's service, whether it's something else, I think that's really where you can find a way where everybody wins. Yeah. I mean, it's not like someone shows up at your store to not buy a car. Right. They're to help get a car. Yeah. And when you walk through that process, it's so much easier.
Yeah, it's like you never see people at the grocery store say, "I'm just looking." Yeah. Like they came for something.
That's right.
Yeah. So, a car is you don't just stumble upon needing a car. It's something you plan for a while. So.
Yeah. Now, I know we're only day into kind of day one, kind of day two for NADA, but what have been your biggest takeaways so far? So John Taffer was on stage this morning. When you go back to your store, what are some things you're going to share with your staff to really help take things to the next level?
He talked a lot about reactions. You're in the reaction business. So how you greeted me today. I had a reaction. It was either good or it was bad. There's usually no indifferent. It was good or bad. So when I greet people, whenever I present numbers to them, no one says God, that payment's just not quite high enough. Yeah. It's always too high. So, but I can kind of control their reaction by my attitude and by my just the way I present myself. Yeah. So that's what I got from it. How am I presenting myself to people when I meet them? I can do a better job of that. Sure. I can do a better job with my staff. When I see them in the mornings, first thing I do I just get straight to work, or do I go see them and ask how they're doing? Because remember, they slept since I saw them last. Right. Something might happen. Their baby might be sick. Their wife might be mad at them or whatever. Yeah. I need to go greet them and make sure that whatever they walk in this building, they're ready to roll. Yeah. And that's my responsibility.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, whether it's customers, your staff. So I think what's cool about what you said is, even with reactions, your staff has a reaction to what's going on too. So anytime you have an interaction with them at the desk, they're going to a customer, maybe you're taking a turnover also. I think that's super important to really understand that it's not just you trying to accomplish something. There's really that two-way street, and they're going to have a reaction, then you have to react to their reaction too and shift from there. So did you had front row seats basically to John Taffer, right?
Anywhere I go, I'm the first one in.
Yeah.
I have season tickets.
Now I'm picturing you standing outside front for 2 hours with a tent waiting to get in.
Yeah, I have season tickets to the Carolina Panthers, and if you're a Panthers fan right now, if you even go to the games, you're a fan. Yeah. So we go to all the games, and I'm the first one in every single Sunday. Yeah. It's funny because I'm the first one in. They don't even know how to scan my ticket because they're just volunteers, and I just usually take the phone and I'm like, here, do this.
Yeah, so that's true.
But that's the key, man, being early to anything. It's if you get lost or whatever. We got lost this morning, but we're still the first ones there, so being prepared.
Exactly. So really, even your grandpa started, parents were involved, now you're involved. When the next generation gets involved, that fourth generation, that fifth generation, when that does happen, what are some of the big takeaways that you want to leave an impact on at your store now, so that when the next generation takes over, they're like, oh man, Brandon did this. He really set us up for success. What are some takeaways you're looking to do for the next couple years, next decade, for the next generation?
Yeah. So there is no fourth right now. None of us have kids. But in the third, I'm sure we all will. But I think the biggest thing I would say is just be willing to put in work. Like it's really easy for somebody to say, oh, you were born on second base. Maybe I was, but I didn't get picked off.
Yeah, that's right.
I didn't get thrown out.
Yeah.
I'm still in the game, so I can't help where I was born. But what I can do is I can help when I am on second base. Do I score?
Yeah.
And so what I do is I do a lot of practicing, drill, rehearsing, role play. Like I practice my scripts. I want nobody to be more prepared than me. Right. Not the customer, not the other salespeople. I want whenever they call me and say I need you, that they've exhausted all things. As I've taught them how to overcome certain objections and everything, but if they still need me, like that's what I'm here for.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So like you're setting them up for success, and you might know this, but the next generation, so going from the second generation to the third generation, that's really where automotive family dealerships, exactly. But here's the difference is that, Brandon, you're involved in day-to-day business. Mm-hmm. Your cousin is.
Yeah. Two cousins.
That's right. Two cousins. Yeah. So there's so many that are involved in that. Mm-hmm. And when you pour into your staff and you really help getting better and better all the time, I think that's really where it's at.
Yeah, for sure. It's a lot of family members don't get along, and I'll have at least one or two spats with my cousins a year. So you can almost schedule it. Yeah. But if you don't have that means somebody's lying. Somebody's agreeing with stuff that they don't really agree with, and then you do enough of those, and then it spills over and just explodes one day.
Exactly. I think you got to fight for what you want, right?
Yeah, for sure. And they'll tell you. I'll do that. If I don't agree with something, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That's great. Well, Brandon, thanks so much for taking a couple minutes out of your busy day here at NADA. The next couple of days while you're here, I hope it's educational. I hope it's fulfilling, and you take away a lot of things, and just go back fired up for your store.
Yeah, appreciate what you do, and appreciate your patience in meeting me today. And
I appreciate your patience, and it's been a pleasure to officially meet you, Brandon.
Thanks for watching this episode of In the Dirt with ASOTU. If you're new to our channel, make sure and mash that like and subscribe button. Also, check out some of these links for our other great podcasts and content.